everybody. Welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League, Week 6, the cursed week. This
Yeah.
week, or today, Lich, better have my money, takes on the Nagaz with Attitudez
Radiant team ban.
in a match that, I'm going to pretend I didn't get spoiled on.
Team ban.
Shoutouts to Rada for just randomly congratulating Kid Dynamite on his series in his own server instead of the LD2L for some reason. Very odd. Anyway,
Radiant team ban.
kicking things off here with some somewhat predictable bans. Lich going after that Gotham OD.
Yep.
Naga's going
It's a
after
classic.
the X3 Necro. It's very odd. I feel like the sort of
10
almost
seconds remaining.
omni-focus. I feel like Necro has been banned legitimately
5
every
seconds
single
remaining.
time against Lich so far for X3, which is kind of strange to me. Maybe early on, because early on, Necro was legitimately probably the only Pause 3 that X3 had any experience on, but now that's not really the case anymore, so I don't really understand the continued first ban for Necro
Dire
here.
team ban.
Juggernaut will not be in this game, unfortunately.
I will not be griefing.
Yep, my Jug will not be griefing anybody anytime soon.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
No Earth Spirit either. Lich first pick in the Viper here.
It's always a classic.
Not really sure that's going to be a 3 or 2 Viper. Given how Lich tends to pick out their lineup, likely that's 3 Viper.
10 seconds remaining.
Actually, I know for a fact what position that is. Because
5 seconds remaining.
I was also spoiled onto that specific thing. A lot of spoilers for me in this game. Shoutouts to the spoiler king, Kid Dynamite, who has really kind of taken it from Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true.
Always seems to be in games involving NWA for some reason.
Dire team pick.
Thinking about our lineup here. What do we got? An
Ogre
ogre.
Magi.
Took that time to think about an ogre. Come on.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take that long to pick. The hero that gets picked every series anyway.
That's true. It's going to be an interesting matchup, right? Because traditionally, outside of the LD2L, as I understand it, there is a certain 3Q, right? That happens between some of these players. And you might have figured it out already if you're looking at the clan tags on the side of the screen. That 3Q is Dogtown, Kid Dynamite, and
Radiant team pick.
Manifest Destiny, aka Captain Virile of the NWA. Speaking of the NWA, Tinker up on the NWA. Ditch Tinker, huh? I don't think we've seen that in this tournament so far.
Yeah. I've seen a couple tankers back in the earlier weeks, but he kind of fell out of focus.
I noticed he's fallen out of focus in general. It feels like his pick rate has gone down kind of
Yep.
sharply in the last couple of weeks.
5
Not really sure
seconds
why.
remaining.
Nothing obvious seems to have changed. Maybe it's just because legitimately every core right now is getting BKB, so.
Yeah, that'll be the reason.
But then legitimately every core right now is getting BKB, I think in large part because of the tanker pick, so it seems like that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know. Also a lot of Lotuses recently, which I feel like is largely the same reason. Yeah, how many cores right now are like picked regularly that don't always buy BKB 100% of the time? Like, not many. Even all the threes
it'd
right
be
now
like
are
a
buying
handful.
BKB, which is kind of rare. Trina Protector up for Lich better have my
Dire
money.
team ban.
You do not want to see an Anti-Mage, and I can't hardly blame him, because we've seen what Anti-Mage does to the Viper, and it's not nice things.
That's true.
Ten seconds remaining.
It's going to be interesting, because Kid Dynamite personally knows the Pause 1 of NWA. Gotham doesn't really have that same connection to Lich.
That's
He
true.
does have Manifest Destiny there, but the question is Manifest Destiny getting listened to as far as, okay, here's what Lich is
It's
going to do.
definitely a good question when it comes to NWA right now.
Yeah, we know, those of you who are just kind of following along on a more casual
10
level
seconds
and don't really
remaining.
know much about the inner
Dire
workings of
team
this
battle.
league, I can tell you this much. There's definitely a stake here for NWA. If NWA get 2-0'd this week, there's a legitimate chance we just don't even see him in Week 7.
Radiant
Like, it is
team
falling
battle.
apart on team spirit levels,
Yeah.
basically. These dudes not fans of each other. Windrunner and Ember Spirit knocked out for Nagaz. I think Kid Dynamite on Ember Spirit a couple of weeks ago really kind of
10 seconds remaining. Dire
last
team
week
battle.
rather, and in to a degree
Dire
in the Magician
team
tournament, really sort of put that idea in
Radiant
people's minds,
team
perhaps. Nagaz getting rid of their own namesake, picking up the Brewmaster here. Likely going to be our Luchs hero today.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Using up a lot of reserve time here. These teams kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah. Both teams
Radiant
kind of
team
over average for this point. Jakiro up for Lich. That's probably going to be our run of our meat.
Stealing Jakiro from Peaches.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, there's not actually a... If you assume Ogre's 4, and it wouldn't be a terrible assumption, that's could be stealing Jakiro from
10
Pages. Of
seconds
course, it might be a
remaining.
Pages Ogre. You can never really tell with Ogre, 4 or
It's
5.
possible.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll say it's a little likely we're going to see an Ogre 5 and a ranged 1, but you know. Ricky got banned, by the way. There, literally nobody's ever going to let that Manifest Destiny Ricky go through again, ever. But it's like, it lost. I don't get it.
True, it's true.
Dire team pick. Lena.
Got Lena up. That will most certainly
Alright,
be their
Katie,
pause,
Lena.
too.
Yep.
I'm not just saying that because I got directly told that or anything.
Even if you didn't know, you know, you can pretty much assume it's a KD Lena.
Yeah, yeah. The only question is
10
Lena or
seconds
Vibermed,
remaining.
but that would kind of make it obvious here, because it's not like they're going to
5
do like a
seconds
3 on
remaining.
3. Maybe like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years ago, and even then, still maybe not. Let's just say it like that.
As Tinker's rockets phase through Brewmaster's arm.
What do you think of the Tinker and Lena matchup? What do you think of that?
Kind of depends on play, I think. I think it's
Fairly even?
relatively. Lena has a better level 6 spike, so that
Radiant
might be
team
worrying. But because
Shot
Tinker
shoots,
can't really do much with rearm and like lane. It's usually a more mid-game ability, so Tinker's level 6 power spike is pretty useless, whereas Lena's level 6 power spike is, you know, Laguna Blade, you can just blow him up.
Right.
10 seconds
So there's
remaining.
that. I think level 6 it starts getting pretty bad for Tinker, but he can just
5
leave,
seconds
so...
remaining.
Yeah, he can leave, and he can also, I feel like if he plays it well, he can also make it very difficult for Lena to even get close enough to the creep wave to use skills.
Right.
Even be in XP range. Because that laser and those rockets, they really make life suck for Lena. Make it hard both to stay close and alive, and they even make it pretty tough to use clarities.
Dire team ban.
Sniper, huh? Sniper 1, you would assume.
Likely, yeah.
Radiant team ban.
So what is this, 5 last pick?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or 4 less pick. Support less pick. Unless it's 4 Tinker.
Yeah, it could be 4 tanker, you never know. Pioneering some dangerous strategies here.
Gotham Tinker, dude, you know? Could happen.
5 seconds
Weirdly enough, Lich is banning out Void. Not really sure why that is. And Medusa.
And Medusa, alright.
They
So
really
think
do
it's,
think it's going to
4
be a 4
yeah,
tanker.
4 Gotham Tinker, huh?
That would be,
Or 4 Brew, I don't know. I don't really know. We'll
that
see.
would be a very interesting team comp, I gotta say.
Is Gotham known for picking Tinker 4?
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. You better not
Guess
be.
they're-
That's a terrible idea.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I'm not gonna show any hero lane combination until I see it in action, so.
Radiant team pick.
There goes Drow.
Yeah,
I mean,
Drow would
we-
be pretty good with that lineup. Don't blame him.
I've seen Tinker
10
Tinker in a
seconds
support
remaining.
position myself. I've never really seen it work particularly
5
well.
seconds
The
remaining.
upkeep on Tinker is very intense. The amount of money
Yep.
you need to get him to be useful at all. But funnily enough, I feel like that would work better back in the day with the March of the Machines, right? The old quicker rearming March of the Machines. You could do a support Tinker
Dire
better.
team pick.
Nowadays, you just need so much
Templar
money to start
Assassin.
getting that up. TA1, huh? That's interesting.
Alright, that's quite interesting. Yeah, she can work in lane now, because, just meld someone
Right,
level 1 and they are likely to die.
right.
10
We've seen a little
seconds
bit of that
remaining.
so far, I believe.
5 seconds remaining.
See what we're getting. Let's answer all the questions we have about this NWA lineup.
Gotta say also, it doesn't seem like they got a lot of like flow going on. It doesn't seem like these heroes have much in common so far.
Well,
Maybe-
neither do the players, so.
Maybe that'll be answered with the last pick here.
Yeah, I mean, potentially this last pick could tie all these people together.
Or potentially this last pick could make everything fall apart. They're really putting some thought into it. I think maybe there's a bit of realization that of like, oh crap, aside from Ogre Ignite, we really have nothing for TA and lane. Got Razor.
You may now
A
select
Razor, huh? So
Razor.
Tinker is a
Definitely.
weird role.
4.
He's Gotham, alright. Gotham Tinker. See
It's
it.
gonna be Brew 1. This team is actually all kinds of wacky.
Hey, if there's
Assuming
a
they
time
lane
to-
in
If
traditional
there's a
way.
time to try stuff that is wacky, it's definitely a game where you must win. So there you go.
You know, Didge, I don't think your gun is gonna work very well, man. It's a little loaded up.
Yeah,
Not very.
that's what he's firing.
Oh, that's what he's firing, eh? It better be. Never actually seen this cosmetic in the wild before. Trion's got some weird cursed children on top of his head.
Yeah, he does.
Very uncomfortable close-up shot of Sniper here. I feel like I'm in his personal space. Alright. I'm not really sure how NWA is going to lane out this game.
Prepare for
So, let's start off with Lich, because that's a bit more obvious. Pause 1 on Lich, standing in for the Bush R3DD on the TA. Pause 2, captain of the team, Kid Dynamite. Today he's playing as Lorinal Arcos. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that I downloaded this replay directly rather than through the
Yeah.
client. But that is Kid Dynamite, I promise. Pause 3, somewhere over here. All eyes on me, aka X3, on Viper. Pause 4, we've got Dogtown on the Treon Protector. And pause 5, we've got Jakiro on Jakiro. Run Over Meat is not named Jakiro, though.
Jakiro on Jakiro, yeah.
Playing
It's
himself.
actually him.
Yeah. Yeah, but because we don't have the normal loadout of player names or anything, it's not ticketed, right? Because this game is not ticketed, nobody gets to know that Kid Dynamite is sponsored by Nike.
That's true, but we'll see that next game. So
It's true.
is that
Shoutouts to Gotham for not ticketing this game. Friend of the show, Gotham.
Begins.
yeah. Shoutouts to Gotham.
Shoutouts to Experience Trophy Progress not being awarded because this is a practice lobby. I mean, hey, this is going to be definite testimony that this game happened, so if there's any question about this series for some reason, if somebody decides to wait like 4 days before they say, no, that didn't really happen or something, here you go. Now, the Sniper versus Lena matchup, what do you think of that one instead?
Sniper versus Lena matchup. Lena still has a stronger level 6.
That's true, and Sniper is still decent. I don't think it's good as Tinker at keeping Lena away. Certainly good at getting the last hits here. Alright, so
Sniper's,
yeah, indeed.
If he gets stunned and like hit with everything Lena has, he's probably gonna die. Whereas the opposite isn't really true. All he has is shrapnel and, you know, assassinated 6, which is only really useful if he already got the jump on Lena in the first place.
Right. So for the NWA, you got Pause 1, Manifest Destiny, aka Captain Viral, aka Just Charles on the Brewmaster here. Pause 2, we got Didge as Sniper. Pause 3, we've got Luchs, one of the more standout players on this team, as Razor. Pause 4, we've got Gotham playing Tinker. Pause 5, we got Peaches on the Ogre Magi. All on the NWA. Kind of a team in crisis right now. Kind of a team in crisis. Being a crisis, Gotham might be in a bit of a crisis here. Tinker's getting very heavily knocked around here, though. Doesn't actually... R3DD does not actually have meld yet, so it's probably not going to be a kill. It's not until 3. I know the cool kids are getting meld 1 now. TA high fives the Dire Tower. Glad you can high five the enemy tower and they'll just go for it.
Yeah. I think it's only if you have the word hand from the battle pass.
Yeah. Sniper very low here. Focusing on the shrapnel here. Something you see a lot of people do nowadays. I don't know. I know I'm a big reactionary and all that, but like I'm still not really sure about the shrapnel focused builds meant for Sniper. Especially in a matchup like this. Like, what's shrapnel gonna do to Lena? She's just too fast, it's gonna be too far away from the wave too consistently.
It's mostly just a secure CS.
Right, but
like you don't have to work at securing CS against something like a Lena who can probably out CS you.
Problem is, you know, shrapnel, especially in the first couple of levels, is still not gonna be like, you know, you're still going to be putting yourself at risk of denies, and you're especially going to be putting yourself at risk of denies against a long-range, you know, long-range, decent attack damage, decent attack speed character, you know what I mean? Against Lena in particular, definitely does not seem like the best option. To me, anyway. I guess it remains to be seen how it's going to go. She's actually getting quite heavily hassled here as Razor's just chasing her right under the tower. Tinker actually does not have anything off CD though, so. Oh, missile's coming in. She's very low. One of her mate had to take the walk of shame all the way back to the fountain. This is going to be a little unfortunate for Run Over Meat in this lane. He's the lowest rated guy in Maru eyes on Lich, and he's having to go with a stand-in, which is definitely going to be working against him here. It's definitely going to need to be very strong in comm lines in this specific case. I will say, this is a very tanky offlane. You know, Viper is only sort of moderately tanky. He's more tanky through dissuasion than he is just really tanky, right?
No.
He does have the magic resist increase, which is good, but he's still more tanky through Dissuasion. But Treant is also sort of uniquely tanky. You got the Leech Seed, you got the fat stats, you got Brewmaster standing in the break puddle, getting really heavily kind of screwed up there. It's gonna be very
Treant has
hard.
the highest base attack damage in the game, so there's that.
It's going to be very hard, I think, for anybody in this top lane to kill each other, because the same, actually, thinking about it, goes for the Dire as well. Both Brewmaster and Ogre Magi also pretty difficult to kill.
Money to burn.
It's going to be a very safe sort of lane up here. You know, get it? Safe lane? It's going to be a very safe lane, I think. It would be very shocking if something crazy happened. Razor is so fast. He's already well able to just completely run down the TA, but Jakiro here.
He's taking a lot of damage.
Jakiro, I think he's actually got him. First
yeah,
blood is Jakiro, but Razor dies to follow. Shame about that. If only Jakiro had a. Oh, he did have a stick. If only he had a full wand, I guess. Free TP.
That is true, but you got first blood, so I don't know if it's that true.
Neat. Yeah, it is a very expensive TP, actually. Just not specifically coming out of your pocket, but you know. Doing a very good job working with each other up here.
There you go. That highest base attack damage in the game.
Doing a very good job working with each other up here, timing up the various tricks of both Viper and the Treant there, to just try and keep somebody. Like usually, Nether Toxin to beyond like level 1 in lane is not really worth it. It's just too hard to get anybody to just stick in it to make that DPS increase work. But Treant seems to always be dropping as many slows as humanly possible on whoever he's looking at, so they actually are able to get more of that max DPS. Still not so much I'd advise leveling it beyond 2, but you know, still very good sort of combo there. Treant finished up his Tranks, which is interesting, means he's definitely not going to be going Grease this game, or at least probably not going to be going Grease anyway. Kiro getting run over like some sort of run over meat by Razor and Tinker here. Razor with all this attack speed is just so difficult to do much about, it seems like. Especially now that he's kind of learned the funny tricks. That is one good thing you get out of Shrapnel here, I suppose, is leveling up to max here. Doesn't mean you can just kind of drop it on the easy camp and just casually do it whenever you want, which is a small amenity. I can tell you this much, a 2 lasted. Oh, we actually missed a kill down here. Luchs actually popping ult already just to get the TA. 2 last hit lead is not exactly what Sniper wants. He does have sort of a +1 farm requirement, so being up just such a, you know, actually now tied, only a scant amount, not great for him. Especially if this happens to him.
Yep.
Good Dynamite though, still not actually going to have enough. Not enough mana to do this. Ouch.
And his pitch is coming to kind of chase him out of being able to hit another Q.
That's it's a very sad situation to be in if you're Lena there. Bottoms up. Brewmaster trying to get a bit of revenge on the Treant in the jungle up here, but unfortunately not able to actually light up the beer.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
H is doing some dewarding over here. Very good for Sniper. As Sniper, vision over mid is one of the most important assets you got.
Yep.
And keeping it up, very important. Especially if you're going right click, though he's not this time. Digger actually got smoke. Gonna be smoking somewhere. Brewmaster actually got hit behind the tower. Did not expect to dive there, and then he got tipped. I believe that's probably just Viper Strike coming in for him there. It's another 6 power spike. Old Lich actually has quite a few 6 power spikes here between all these people. The only hero on this team that really doesn't have a great spike at 6 is probably TA.
Yeah, Templar.
Okay, you know, the traps are still neat, but are just not that great.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly nothing compared to the sort of spike you get out of like Viper Strike or something. One interesting thing about the Lich lineup actually is that you actually have only one melee hero on the entire lineup, and it's the 4 of all people, so you really...
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to be right-clicking many people throughout the game, probably. It's actually in there doing their jungle at the moment.
Oh boy.
Tree baits out to a
He's a
degree,
little
the brew
It's under attack.
ult, but it's hard to call it bait when it just works. Probably should have just stuck over there, just stuck to his duties, beating up the
Radiant's
stack
bottom
down
tower
here.
is under attack.
Dire looking real hard at Kid Dynamite mid here.
Yeah, they
Who has,
certainly are.
resigned himself to a life of keeping the clarities on him.
The
Though
TA is gonna
instead they
spot
found
this out.
TA,
Yeah.
kind of looking at him. This is gonna get real interesting real fast. Tinker
This is a lot of people.
is very screwed there. The second the light strike array comes out, up. Jakiro missing the ice path pretty nastily there. Second the LSA comes
Yeah,
out,
too late
the,
anyway.
the Tinker is just completely screwed.
Radiant's bottom
Seems
tower
that we're
is
kind of
under
eschewing the end of lane phase here. Just heading right into the sort of early stages of the mid game. You can see right now, Lena actually at the top of the net worth chart. Sniper actually did end up with a slightly better performance than it looked like he should have there. Lena just not really quite able to ever seal the deal on him, unfortunately for Lena. Ogre goes down well in no man's land here.
They just dive again.
Dire's
Yep.
top tower
Listen, a
is
few
under
kills here. It's very unusual,
bottom tower
actually,
is under attack.
the propensity they're having right now for getting those kills.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
That Viper and Tree combo working out a little better than it kind of did in my head, honestly. It's a very mean sort
That's
of
very good.
lineup there.
Is under attack.
Seems to enable a lot of dive more than anything else.
Radiant's bottom
Tower
has
down,
fallen.
bot goes down. Not the first tower to go down in this game, but hey, you know, it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. Close to the tradition. Nearly traditional.
Yep.
Again, you can see here just how deep, you know, having a fight at this location, 12 minutes, usually isn't going to do too much. Oh, Viper
Oh,
barely
okay.
gets out. One frame later, he would have just gotten completely demolished by the assassination. And then he tips Sniper. That's sad. Usually a fight up around this area at around 12 minutes would be kind of suicide, but no, they actually went in, got Brewmaster, got out without a casualty. Very near a casualty. One frame quicker on the draw on that assassinating Viper would have been on the floor. Brewmaster calling Mim missing, which is not true.
Is under attack.
Then TPing to the tower himself just to investigate, I guess. I can tell you this much, the Brew Top experiment, the Brew Pause 1 experiment, has not to this point really gone great for him. Even with the Midas, he's still trailing very heavily from net worth at this point.
Right.
And again, it's kind of just not a Pause 1 that suits Manifest Destiny very well. It seems like Gotham is just insistently trying to get these early game sort of cores out for NWA, but it doesn't seem like Manifest Destiny ever really wants to do that. It seems like he just kind of wants to farm for like 15 minutes or whatever. Not really a fight in one
Right.
by any stretch.
No, brew farms for that long, you're just gonna get outscaled.
Right, yeah, you just can't do that. Trying to even taking away the option, though, he's still kind of like, you know, he went for Midas here, for example, you know?
Oh boy,
Solo
Gotham.
tree ult the tanker here and just shred him.
Yeah,
Razor actually in a bit of trouble here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I think
attack.
he's okay.
Nope, he's just too goddamn
Yep.
fast. He's got phase boots, Yasha, and a windlace going for Yules here. He's got all of the move speed a man can ever need, and though Lena's actually a little better than him as far as move speed goes, it's only with quite a few passive stacks.
Right.
Lena has already gotten travels, incidentally. Could help them get some good early game splits going on. Siege on mid T1 here by the Dire. NWA looking to get a little something done here.
Boy.
Viper's getting completely annihilated by Razor under the tower there. But Razor is pretty low, but nobody cares about him right now. Everybody's just trying to knock folks off the tower. Bit of a missed op there. I think Luchs was a little bit more danger than Lich realized.
Dire's top tower is under
Maybe that'll blink on the TA or something. Would have been a little more possible. And some mana.
TA very actually down for money right now. Just was not able to make a great presence. Both of the safe lanes just kind of got totaled there. It felt like. Treon now next in line for getting just smashed up by Razor, and down he goes. Got the Primal Split out.
Now.
Primal Split just to destroy Lena there. Unfortunately, with the Primal Split's abilities on CD, you can't get much done, it seems like. Are able to kill TA under it, though. They're going to lose Brew.
Oh, boy.
So.
I mean, that's fine. They got through.
Razor actually still won to fight here. He was fairly low. And eventually does indeed die.
Yep.
And this fight's been going on so long. People have been dying, respawning, just dying again there.
Yeah, kind of a wild one.
One of those long-term fights you don't see that much of nowadays. A lot of gold changing hands there. Ultimately, probably, even though it looks like it's a little worse here, probably ultimately a little better for Lich there. Not by much.
Get another little go here on the Ogre.
Yep, Ogre just completely
shred
getting shredded. Sniper actually caught as well. They're behind the lines
yeah,
to a pretty good degree, and down he goes. Being very casually
God.
lagooned, very casually destroyed. Tinker
Oh,
next.
got Gotham. Okay, very good.
Well, for a situation that was already kind of going better for Lich, they just really doubled down on that. Got some more folks down. Luchs actually was able to come back up in that time, but not able to do anything.
It turns out when they don't get the jump on Lena immediately, they don't really have an answer.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be able to do anything about Lena until BKB start coming up on all these folks. I mean, Brew actually does have it a little better off than most heroes do, because he is able to just ult, and Lena can do nothing about the ult, basically. The entire time Brew is in that Primal Split, 16 seconds, Lena really can't do anything about him, because, you know, she can't really hurt the Earth Spirit, right? So, Ogre Magi just caught here, just immediately owned. Nobody can be in sight lines of Lich alone right now, like even for a second.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's a lot of damage, allegedly. I don't know what has done a lot of damage, but something has. Maybe that's a lot of damage came from something baited an Earth Spirit. Not an Earth Spirit, a Brewmaster ult down here at bot, but it appears to have done nothing at all. Nobody's, like, damaged. Did he ult for an illusion? I'm thinking maybe he ulted for an illusion just there.
It is definitely
I see nothing
possible.
around. NWA trying best they can to try and keep the one lane they have a T1 and keep that still up. They do have an advantage there because they've knocked out the opposing T1 themselves. It's got a little vision in the jungle over here, actually. Got a lot of vision in the Dire jungle, actually, right now. Not a very safe place to be.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're
Trying to finish his hammer. He's pulling in. Oh no, he's not pulling in something else. He's sending the courier home. I think he just got the meteor hammer down. Now he's gonna become
Oh
meat.
boy.
That razor with no, it's not haste. It's
Big pull
bloodlust.
plays. Big pull plays are gonna help you here.
Yep. Razor with the bloodlust and the finish Yules. Very, very fast. 528 move speed.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This makes him very tough to get away from there. It's gonna give
Right.
it's gonna give both teams, I think, just from the razor alone, it's gonna give both teams sort of the ability to just run over anyone they can find. This is not a great match to be a support in, I can tell you that much.
Oh boy,
A lot of
Gotham.
Atos on the tanker there. Gets ulted by Viper, gets completely melted.
Yeah. A lot
Sort
of
of the
pickoff in this game.
Sort of the concern on the tanker there, I think, coming to light in the worst possible way for the guy. He really just doesn't have anything to do in this game. Seems like every time he just pokes out, he just gets annihilated. And the sad thing is, he's actually gotten second most kills on his team, tied for most assists. So he actually has the best K and A, more or less, of anybody out there. But the problem is that not only is he the +4, every time he's getting anything done, he's dying to do it. So he's just in a very sad situation. It's almost to the point where it's like almost a detriment, really, when he's getting things done, because he's kind of getting things done on a target that does nothing but just kind of take money and just stuff it away in the enemy's pockets when he dies, you know? From that string modifiers and all that.
Smoke here.
Smoke coming in on a lot of people, actually, to get sniper
Yeah,
and
they're
tanker.
gonna cut them off.
But nobody's going for sniper for some reason. Okay, now people are
Kid
going for
Dynamite
sniper.
is.
Kid Dynamite coming in from behind. Lena just completely roasting the sniper up with ult and everything. Brewmaster had to ult somewhat early in that fight. He's gonna be coming out of it kind of soon. He's actually kind
Earthbane
of...
is dead.
Yeah, he's down to just the Earth Barrier. He's just having to pull out right now. I believe he's gonna be pretty much full.
That's the fire one that died.
Yep. He is going to be pretty much fully, so he's coming in with basically a clean deck there.
This is a little concerning
But
though.
he is in a bad spot. He actually
yeah.
gave up a little early there. It's a very awkward smoke gank, actually. It seemed like nobody really had a great idea of who they should be jumping on, and everybody kind of chose a different target. But even though the initial execution was kind of bad, when the captain came in, got everything together, it started to go more their way, I think. They did lose Viper for it, which
Yep.
is a bit of a shame. Definitely something-
I'll take a Viper for Brew plus Sniper any day.
Yeah,
be
there's
honest.
something to be said for direction in a case like that. It's certainly a situation where I don't think they necessarily had to lose Viper to get that done, you know? I would have taken neither for Brew and Sniper over my other options. That's something I could tell you for sure. I can say this, TA is still not very scary, which is a bad sign when they have a 3k net worth advantage. Like, they have a 3k net worth advantage, and even then, they don't really need their +1 up to do that. It's not great, considering that NWA is already pretty much as good as they're ever going to be. Yeah, coming in, just
Force
immediately getting the Razor ult on him. On her, rather.
Oh
Ogre
boy.
Magi just going down. Sniper melting in the Viper crap.
I
Sniper
don't know
really...
if that was a TA like self-force stuff, but that sure didn't work out well if it wasn't. Okay,
Oh, yeah, that was. I don't believe anyone in Dire has a 4-staffish thing. Yeah. Again, it's just a bad sign. Like, TA comes in, does no damage, actually gets Razor hooked the whole fight, and just has to sit there. Doesn't melt for some reason. And yet, still, despite that, they pretty much just summarily kill everybody nearby without taking a single loss for themselves. Imagine what this team is going to be like when TA does get scary.
Yep, and they get to take Roche. It's not TA's job to be scary right now, it's It's KD's job
Right.
to be scary.
Well,
He's
what I
doing
mean
it,
by
so.
that is they're already dominating. With TA's not scary. TA is
Yeah.
going to be scary one day. So what's that going to be? You know.
Right.
It's not like anybody's going to be ready for her when she is, because, you know, the best carry they got is Sniper, and he's 0-3 right now. They have spotted out Viper here. He's getting pretty low, but...
TA! Okay,
forces
the miss
out
on
the
that
brutal.
build saved his life. He would actually be dead if that build didn't miss.
It seems like it kind of giving up a little bit here. Almost just kind of accepted his lot in life, though, probably be fine. He's sticking very close. Razor very low here,
Is under
but
attack.
Radiant not terribly willing to chase him out much more.
Right.
Very awkward little fight there. It seems like neither side really wanted to do that. We are finally going to get a casualty for this, though, as Ogre Magi is just stuck in the middle of nowhere. And down he goes, getting eaten by Viper.
Said.
Again, it seems like right now, Radiant's having a little trouble deciding who the priority of the team is. Actually, funnily enough, it seems like the default answer for them is actually Tinker. It seems like they're trying to get him knocked out at the start of every fight. Which I guess is a fair choice. I mean, nobody wants to deal with the, lasers.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Right.
What was an accident? Oh, accidentally GG'd there.
Right, okay.
Dire's bottom tower has
Yeah, that's
fallen.
not going to go through.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
I
is under
figured.
attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Sieging down both the T1 and the T2 here after in the wake of that battle. Not much response to it. Brewmaster cancels the TB, doesn't want to be iced in there.
Dire's bottom tower
Viper has a
fallen.
courier with a refresher orb on it for some reason. Bring in the refresher into battle so
Not
he can have
literally a
two.
refresher.
Yeah. So he can, yeah, it's physically on the courier, like on the model of the courier,
Yeah.
not like in the inventory of the courier, I should clarify. Yeah, again, bring in a refresher orb so he can Viper strike twice for some reason. I mean, hey, 2 uses of Gleipnir is pretty good. That's
Not
it,
as
though.
bad as it's not as bad as Veno refresher orb, we'll give him that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Venom Refresher Orb is decent if you are not an idiot about how you use it. It's kind of like Void Refresher Orb, where the answer is not necessarily to just use things twice in a row,
Fights
but just
aren't
to...
gonna go on for that long.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
if
it's
you're
not necessarily
killing
that-
everyone within one Poison Nova, you're in a bad enough position that you're not gonna have Refresher Orb.
It's not about the fights going on for so long. It's about having Gale up, not Gale, having Nova up every potential fight, you know? That certainly is, especially
Grab the
the
Ogre here.
early get. Yep, Ogre just completely smoke ganked on, tanked the gank.
Yep.
It is definitely to your advantage to have, you know, both in the case of, you know, Chronosphere and the case of the Poison Nova. It's definitely good to be able to have them every single fight. It's not necessarily, you know, sometimes you're just not going to have the cooldown fast enough, or sometimes you might be in a situation as, you know, where you have like a skirmish against a couple of people where you want to use Poison Nova, and then later on you have another skirmish against a small group, you know?
Even if that's true, I'd still buy like 13 items before it on Veno, to be honest.
See, a CDR probably going to be the ideal there, rather than a Refresher Orb, though. I wouldn't say it's a completely worthless option, just not ideal, per se. As opposed to Viper, where it is a completely worthless
Yeah,
option,
it's
especially
awful.
since Ags just gives you, like, no cooldown in your ult. That's the one thing you would really want. I mean, again, Refresh Gleep, not the worst thing in the world, just being able to root, you know, either the same radius for 4 seconds or 2 different areas for 2. Not bad. You know, better than it looks, but...
It's not worth like 5k gold or whatever.
Razor jumps on the hero there. Completely
boy.
annihilates him, though. TA finally coming in with some real damage. Knocks him down in response.
Drew is doing a lot of... He's causing a lot of trouble in this fight.
Yeah. Runner Meat actually bought back. Jakiro comes in for round 2, drops a Macropire, which is enough to get rid of the Ogre Magi there.
Oh dear.
That Brule really kind of ruining TA's life. Has to withdraw again. Viper coming in from behind though. Back of the line to play cleanup duty. Gets the Tinker again. Bullying out the Brewmaster though. Not really any ability to actually get rid of him right now, it seems. Especially with that happening though. He does have... Nope. That Bullwhip is going to get him right out of town.
Yep.
Yeah, I will say this much on Viper. Even if you do have the Gleipnir, getting upgraded boots is something that it's weird. You don't see it on like a lot of the top builds, a lot of the default builds, but getting boots can really stop a lot of situations like that happening to you, and that is the worst thing that you can have as Viper. Your slows are definitely not as good as they look on paper, and you will have a lot of situations, especially when move speed items or related heroes come into play, where it's like you're able to route an enemy, you're able to chase an enemy back to spawn, but it's not like you can dive T3s, especially at this point. You're just going to miss a lot of kills if you're just too slow, even with Gleep.
Right.
I can say this much, certainly a mechanism of some sort on somebody would be really great for Lich right now. Seems like every fight, just having the ability to just get rid of some of that damage would be very strong. Because some of that damage, TA, Mindbreaker, and Bottle here with the DD in it.
Gonna pop that.
Yep. Slightly early, but that's fine. They're looking in the jungle here. They have found the Ogre.
Yeah.
Kind of a desperation ult on Treon's part to try and get more guys, but the ult actually completely misses. Aladai are already pulled out of there. They already had sort of Spidey senses on even before the jump on Ogre actually went down. Yep. We're gonna Razor at least. So yep, Razor also just going to get the hell back as soon as possible. Yeah, ultimately kind of a waste of a smoke there. And they got Ogre, but at this point, getting Ogre is almost not worth the time investment spent killing him. I mean, he's just such a low-value target. You would have actually made better money in the time farming. At least you're stopping him from doing anything useful.
Yep.
Very tragic use of the overgrowth as well in the middle of that. Probably not what they wanted to have happen.
Ogre's also pretty good at siege defense because he can buff the towers, so there's that.
I don't think that's going to be too pertinent right now. I think anybody trying to defend this would have just been a stain on the carpet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's very strange. It feels like this is...
I'm talking about when they eventually decide to high ground.
Right. It feels like right now, this is like less of a contest than it feels like it should be, but more of a contest than it feels like it should be at the same time. Like it feels like the Razor alone is doing so much work for NWA. He's kind of keeping them alive, just basically just through sheer force of existence. Feels like he should be keeping them alive-er, but it's just not really coming out to be that way. He has had to build basically completely for self-sustaining purposes. He has nothing to keep anybody else alive. He has no auras, no halberd, nothing like that.
Yep.
Kind of unusual for Luchs, actually. Not terribly unusual for Razor. Well, certainly, I do feel like we could have a little something more for him here. A little something for everybody, so to speak. Like an Atos on him, that'd be a good little utility. I mean, he has the Yules, that would be a little redundant. You know, Atos into Gleipnir. Gives him what he wants and helps his team out a little bit, for example.
Right.
Like he might break up the S and Y, but not 100% certain. I kinda doubt. I mean, he could break that into Halberd and K and Y. I know K and Y isn't very popular right now, but that's certainly an option for him at least. That would also help him be a little bit more of a team sort of oriented build. They desperately need it right now. If Razor can parlay his success onto the rest of the team to any significant degree, they can definitely sort of dig in and at least wait until Sniper comes up and see what happens with that.
Right.
Because right now, old Sniper not really able to get that much done. And of course, old Brewmaster really does not have much to show for himself here. You know, he kind of would already have this inventory, I think, had he not gone for the Midas, if that makes sense, in a more competitive game. So he's quite heavily playing behind right now. Lich looking to do Ags here. I feel like every single time I've seen Viper dig something up, it's always been the crappy little kobold. Poor guy.
Seeing a poor guy, they're gonna invade Roche's home here.
Just completely eviscerate him, not even close. Somebody dropped Slippers of Agility there. We also have a shard down. I believe that was a shard anyway. That might have actually been the full Ags, but I'm pretty sure it was shard.
Yeah, it was shard, probably.
Looks like it was the TA shard here. As nobody else has one at the moment.
Yep.
Ogre Magi are just gonna die again. Very sad day for Pages.
Yeah. It's not a pleasant game for sports, this one.
1 in 10 on the Ogre Magi. 110 in fourth, not even like 50% success rate there. A buyback.
Yeah, scatter them a little because the equilibrium was kind of bad there.
Yep.
But
Also notably, even though Razor fairly low, or not Razor, Tinker fairly low level, he is able to do quite a bit of knockback with the. Oh, Viper's completely got us annihilated there.
Good root.
Brew's trying so hard to primal split, but no avail.
Really well-timed tree ult, actually. He actually waited until the very last second where Brew was just about to ult.
Right.
And just secured his death by preventing it.
Oh, Razor unfortunately just gets nothing on the link.
It was a very bloody siege though, even without the Brew.
Certainly one thing that could do them some good here in dealing with the tanker would be finishing up the pipe on Viper here. Because one of the biggest issues they've got is just every second they spend longer in the fight is just another second of rockets coming at them. And even though they're not that threatening of rockets, it's still just a toll sort of you just have to take there. Tree and the 2 pots for Tree and Tanker. Have themselves a little bit of a scuffle here at the bot lane. Ultimately, nothing comes of it. Razor actually pops the TA Aegis over here. Sniper and got dusted there.
Oh boy.
Walked under a sentry at a very unfortunate time. Sniper finishing that big AB actually has had quite some impact on this fight here. So Viper up just in time to kill the Razor there. Viper doing some pretty noticeable damage here. Root on the tree gets 3 people. Drops the Meteor Hammer on 2, which gets a kill on Gotham. And Sniper very low. TA actually ignoring the Brew ult to try and get him, but misses him. Not sure where the miss came from there. Brew dies through his ult!
Yeah, he did.
Ouch. Not only has Brute died through his ult, Brute's died through his ult and has no buyback.
Yeah. Good shot, we'll win.
Of course, unfortunately, the creep wave is about 1 trillion miles away. Sniper did not actually end up going down there, so he can contribute to this defense quite heavily. It is something notable here. It is going to be very, very hard for Lich to get anything of value done as far as uphill pushes go between between Sniper, Tinker, and the Ogre Magi. It is so difficult to make headway against that. You basically just have to go when 5 are down. Like, any individual one of those guys can stop a push, let alone all of them combined. Ogre Magi going down again. Now 1 and 11. And that was a dieback as well. They're going to use the Meteor Hammer with the Attitudez to
that
at
tower.
least
Finally
the
finish
tower.
off that violent siege.
Somebody's got... Oh, Jakiro actually going for Grease here, it seems. Jack has the mech already. Oh, Treon blinks right in, tries to go in on the sniper, but sniper immediately BKB's out, and they have nothing to do. They have nothing to say at all about BKB
boy.
right now.
Dire's middle barracks.
Teeter's gonna run right over the racks there.
Okay, good tree ult.
Good trio leads very directly, I think, to the death of the Razor there, who has to buy back actually.
Yep.
But it's just too late for him to do anything. He's already lost his racks and a half. Actually, like
Money to burn.
pretty good portion of this range racks here. It's likely going to fall to creeps in a wave or two if it's not adequately dealt with. And now we wait. But I'm not waiting for that crap. See, you can just skip right past it. Aren't videos nice? Viper bringing up the blade mail just to try and punish Tinker on the fire from his base, to punish Razor and the sniper. Usually I'm not big on blade mail on 3. It's a very good way to make the enemy team ignore you and choose a better target to focus on instead. Not what you want as 3. But in a case like this, there is a lot of unavoidable damage. There is a ton of stuff they just can't control, from shrapnel, rockets, you know, the Razor ult, the hula hoop as well. Even Brew's got some uncontrollable damage on the table. You're never gonna say, oh well, yeah, I bought blade mail so I could stop a thunderclap. In fairness. So in this specific case, I do think I can approve of it, though most cases I really wouldn't. Slipper's agility still in the rush pit. Oh. Somebody could go in and get those. Free slippers. D4 jungle items coming out at an alarming rate. Both teams doing the jungle right now. Very short order. Trickster's cloak up for Dire could actually have quite a decent impact on this little matchup here. Sniper actually going to keep it himself. Penta actually just sitting in the stash right now. Be really good for Razor. I think way better than the flicker would do for him actually. You know, one interesting thing to always consider about about Razor is that despite how it looks, he is a melee hero legally, and things like the Penta Edge are going to have a higher impact for him than they would for most. They're actually dropping Glyph for this T3 here as they focus on trying to kill the TA in the middle of this. TA BKBing and TPing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
The response there.
Press the Lich really doesn't want to keep going though. With a DD up on Kid Dynamite, maybe they will sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
But all of Dire around this tower, and as mentioned previously, you know, Dire, very, very difficult to fight up that hill. Lich turning around saying, nope, no thanks actually, we're gonna wait till Roche comes up, I think. Very hesitant to make an offensive at this point. They're worried about the sort of attrition that Dire can bring to them. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be worrying for a very long time, as Roche has chosen his longest possible respawn timer once again.
Yep.
Viper coming out first here.
Yeah,
Very
seems
bad
to be the
way.
frontliner. Seems to take the heat for everyone else.
Definitely be good for him to pop that blade mail here, and he does, though. A little too late, and as a result, not able to do much
TA
damage.
shred the brew through his ult.
Yeah, that's not great. Not a great situation for old Brewmaster there. T3 goes down, along with Viper and Brew. Brew buying back as the mystery deepens.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Once again, it seems like Lich are almost in one of a game plan here, despite their advantages. It seems like the exact nature of what they're trying to do. It's a little hard to keep track of. Maybe they're repeatedly calling and uncalling it. You know, maybe it's like, oh, seed, never mind. Seed, never mind. That sort of thing. But both in terms of how it goes in fights and in terms of their pushing, it does seem a little disorganized at this point. What do you think? You been seeing that?
Maybe. I mean, I think they just expect Viper to be a little tankier than he is, maybe, because he's taking the heat for them every fight, but he just dies quicker than any of them expect any time, like every time, and the fight just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, Viper is a nice pause 3 to have when you're not looking for a huge amount of tank power, because he really doesn't bring that to the table. He trades a lot of his tank power for damage, especially early game damage in that break utility.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So if you're expecting to build around Viper, Viper needs to build around you. But Blade Mail and the Ogre Magi goodbye once more. 1 in 12. At least he's past 50% of the time. He at least gets something done, though. Not by much.
It's life. It happens in a support game that you're losing.
Right.
I'd say that in like
just,
95% of losing Dota games, the supports have a KDA like that.
Right. This is a pretty rough KD even by those standards. Radiant just so efficient at picking off the Ogre, so willing to do so as well.
Yep.
Sometimes even to their own detriment to a degree.
They clean out those Rex.
Yep, Rack's just going straight down in seconds flat.
Invisibility.
See how much more confident they are in sieging when the Ogre's down?
Right. It's interesting. I feel like maybe they even overstate, because like Ogre was, the T3 wasn't actually even up for that push there. He was already down last time, so taking out the Ogre wasn't actually necessary. I think maybe they're overcrediting him with the defense, and I think particularly undercrediting Sniper, who at this point seems to be more or less ignored by the enemy lineup. They're really not respecting Dig at all. Roshi's back.
Yep.
Looks like they're taking a good look at the guy. DD on the Lena there. We'll Flipper's agility dropped here. We'll help do this in record time. Looks like they're smoking. I think it's likely Dire figured out exactly what's going on here, but well, maybe not, because you're looking around the triangle, not around the Roche pit. Yeah, looks like it's blind. Got eggs and cheese. Get Dynamite gonna take the eggs.
Yep, indeed.
Gonna use it himself. Actually, just holding on to it right now. There you go. Finally pops it for himself.
Probably just asking, you know, anyone else feel like they need this?
Right. It is going to definitely help them. Wow! The Brewmaster, the Brewmaster fakes just got completely hosed up there.
That's been happening to him, yeah.
Yeah, that was
the
even worse
really
than before.
is not kind to the Brew.
Even worse than before. The illusions there went down legitimately. One auto attack for the two other guys. Only Earth Panda survives. Damn, he coming in on the tower here. Again, a little late on the Blade Mail here. This time it's not going to be to such a bad avail. Be able to get quite a bit done here, though. Razor is doing some pretty crazy damage. That's 182 sullen. Viper barely sneaking out of there with just a tiny amount of HP left. TA continues to work on the racks alongside Lena. That DD actually still in effect here. Actually, I think another one came up there because it seems very long for that effect to be underway. Lucky bastard. Rex goes down.
Oh,
Rex
boy.
goes down.
See, Dire's
And
bottom
that's
tower has fallen.
almost Megas. All that's left is a ranged Rex with 300 HP. Though they're starting to turn things around a little bit. It's both Viper and Treon just get cut down. And Gotham
That
calls a
doesn't matter,
GG
though.
as they start
Yeah.
to fountain farm here.
There you go.
Radiant victory.
Right. I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like this is sort of a game that was kind of lost in draft. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think there's a future for a lineup that looks like that? Especially against a lineup that looks like what Lich has.
Not when the game goes almost 50 minutes.
Oh, certainly. That's kind of a problem there, is that Nagaz both kind of didn't really have much to say in the earliest portion of the game, yet also didn't have much to say at the end game. Rarely enough, they're a team that's all about the like 20 to 30 minute mark, but that didn't really go great for them. As stated, you know, Lich was already taking a pretty commanding lead by the time that mid game was rolling around. And then when TA actually got scary, you know, it felt like they really didn't have much left to offer.
Right.
There were some communication breakdowns with Lich, I feel like. I feel like there was also a little bit of, you know, like I said, some of the fights, it just seemed like nobody knew who the hell to target exactly. And so you would see a lot of people on NWA just hanging around like 70% HP as everybody just kind of repeatedly said, I want Razor, no, I want Sniper, no, I want Ogre, no, I want Tinky, you know? Everybody just kind of continually
Right.
flip-flopped around the targets. I think that Lich probably could have had a better game for themselves if those comm line issues were fixed up here. It's definitely something to work on for their very, very intense matchup they got working for them next week. The stand-in didn't seem to to play a great role in this match. I mean, obviously had a very good KDA. I mean, like, the fact that the stand-in was a stand-in didn't seem to do too much here. They seemed to do okay for round one. So let's see how things go in round two. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm gonna pretend I don't already know, of course.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what happens, but at least getting there is going to be the fun part, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's the road, not the destination.
Exactly.